Sir, is the screen visible?
Very good. Us, in the present era of digital transformation, like all other industries, banking institutions are also moving towards adopting holistic, personalized, and proactive approach towards financial wellness. And sir, our bank is using the latest technology to its fullest for providing seamless banking experience to our customers as well as to the employees. So we have developed an in-house advanced mobile application which is nomenclatured as Arjun, which denotes automated remote junction for monitoring of asset under stress. It is designed as a handy tool available to the staff members for effective credit monitoring and collection action directly from their mobile phones. So Arjun is an Android-based solution offering the field functionaries with a robust tool for tracking, follow-up, and maintaining records of collection action in stressed asset portfolio of the bank. Now, when we talk about stressed assets, sir, I will little bit explain about the background or about the brief of stressed asset. The term stressed asset refers to the non-performing asset and the standard restructure advances. Apart from stressed assets, there are some other delinquent categories which are known as the special mention accounts, which was introduced by Reserve Bank of India for identifying the incipient risk in the loan and advances before turning it into an NPA category. So one account, when it's turned into NPA, it has to go through a particular route, and that route of stress is nomenclatured as special mention account. And it is segmented into 3 different categories based on the days past due of that particular loan account. A loan is, and when a loan is defaulted by a particular borrower, so from the date of default till 30th date of TPD, it is classified under SMA 0 category, and on subsequent non-payment of the overdue from 31 days to 60 days, it is classified under SMA 1 category. And if the overdue is not paid beyond 61 to 90 days, it is subsequently categorized under SMA 2 categories. And if the due is not repaid within a 90 days from a due date, so it is classified as a non-performing asset. So it is a challenge for any bank to keep the borrower's account on the standard category, and for this purpose, continuous monitoring of account is very much essential. In view of the emerging concern from the acceleration in credit growth to different portfolio, there is a need for strong and effective structured mechanism to put in place at every level. Despite multiple level of monitoring system prevalent in the bank, the traditional credit monitoring tools have been identified as a major contributor for ineffective credit monitoring processes, and which results into the increase in stressed asset and ultimately addition of slippages. So the basic challenges that the present day banking for monitoring and collection of overdue is due to the conventional credit monitoring processes like architectural alignment, legacy application platform dependency, distributed application for different reports, non-availability of comprehensive dashboard for potential slippages and SMA account, absence of unified comprehensive tool for monitoring of asset under stress, and less intuitive reporting and visualization. Sir, now I would discuss about the features which is inbuilt into the Arjun for aiming to the stressed asset bullseye of the stressed asset portfolio of bank. Now, Arjun mobile application is having a dashboard facility which provides the snapshot of entire stressed and delinquent asset to the top management and at the every level of hierarchy. Its analytical engine is inbuilt into the system for identifying the daily variation in the stressed asset portfolio of the bank. On the operational point of view, it is well defined for monitoring, measure, and managing the stressed asset portfolio of the bank. On the security aspect, sir, our application has been released in secured container through enterprise mobility management, making Arjun more secure and safe to use. In the further slide, I will elaborate on some of the features which is unique in the Arjun application, and it is not present in any other application launched by our peer groups. So the dashboard feature, as we discussed about here, the dashboard is customized dashboard in terms of the full eagle's eye view for the top management and the granular level information provided to the branch level officers and branch managers. The daily variation ticker, we have also added this feature into our application, which provides the level of stress of all the zones and branches with the daily variation in the reports. One of the unique features that we have inbuilt into this Arjun application is announcement ticker. Now, this announcement ticker enhances the employee responsiveness. Now, often we used to face a difficulty to complete a task within a defined time frame or within a limited time frame. So to make any announcement to the entire group of employees pan India, this announcement ticker helps us very much, so that within a few seconds of time we can publish the announcement. It has to be gone through by each and every employee within a few minutes or within a few seconds. Apart from this, there are facility of visibility to the past communication. This Arjun application, the main usage of this Arjun application is for the people and for the task of feet on street. So when we are capturing the data and when we are capturing the responses from the field, from the customers, all the responses that are being captured at the field level will be made available in the backend and also to the front users for accessing it, so that they can be updated with the entire trail of correction action taken for the particular account. Now, the most unique feature that is inbuilt in the Arjun application is that the geotagging and suggested next visit facility. So why this is a unique feature? Because it will save the turnaround time in recovery of collection action by suggesting the nearby high risk customer to our persons, those who are visiting in the field. For example, at present, what is happening when our branch managers or field officers are visiting for a particular customer A, after completion of his visit and collection action, capturing details. Now he has to move on to the branch or to some other customer where he has planned for his visit. But with this feature, he can locate the high risk customer in the vicinity of the field officer's geolocation, and he can make a visit to that particular customer in the vicinity, and this will greatly reduce the turnaround time for recovery and collection action. So this application is a comprehensive collection management system, and that is the reason we have also inbuilt the direct calling option. Through these Arjun applications, the users can directly make phone calls without using any phone directory or without saving any contact details of our borrowers. Not only this, sir, we can also send the customized SMSs and WhatsApp, wherein the templates has already been inbuilt into the Arjun application based on the days past due and delinquency of that particular borrower. So there is no need to make any template by own from the field officers. Templates are already inbuilt. Just they have to send an SMS. Just they have to click the button, and SMS will be delivered to the particular customers. Accessibility to granular data is also a feature which is inbuilt into the Arjun application. Now there is no more need of requirement of the manual work before visiting 20 customers. At present, what is happening? We are taking printouts of lots of data and information regarding the account, regarding its delinquency, its overdue amounts, date of entry and all. But with the use of Arjun application, we have access to the granular level data, including the overdue amount, date of default, repay type, probable NPA date, month of business and all. Through this, our feet on street staffs and our branch officers can well equipped with all the granular details which is necessary for communication with the borrower. Now, on a strategic point of view, this system-based, tailor-made, borrower-wise suggested collection action is also inbuilt into Arjun application. Sir, what is happening in this is that Arjun itself will pop up suggested action to the user. Suppose user is a new user on that Arjun application and he doesn't know what action needs to be taken for a particular customer. So in that case, Arjun itself will tell that this customer is in a bucket of SMA 0 or SMA 1. So you need to either make a visit or you need to make a call to that particular customer based on the days past due delinquency. This is our Arjun application is equipped with analytical engine to identify the daily variation in the stressed asset portfolio. And I have already discussed about the geolocation tracing facility of Arjun. Arjun is also having the facility of sending SMSs, text messages, and WhatsApp facility is also inbuilt into the system. So these are some of the screenshots of our live Arjun application, wherein there are the tabs for announcement, notification alert, profile customization, sending alerts to branches, login and authentication, OTP authentication facility is also there. The third one is the daily variation ticker. Drill down details are also available up to the granular level of accountable information. Multiple filter and sorting option is there based on the balance, promise to pay date, based on the days past due, based on the name of the customer, and the second one is customer details. Now, as I have already explained, sir, the near me tab, this is the tab from which I can locate my near me customers based on the geolocation of the field officer who is visiting the particular borrower. Now, when I will click this particular tab, the particular customer will appear on the screen, and on subsequently click on his address, I will be redirected to the GPS map, wherein I will be the GPS navigation will be visible to the particular user so that he can navigate to the particular borrower's location. WhatsApp integration we have also made, wherein the templates which are already set in the system, we can send directly WhatsApp SMS to borrower. Text SMS integration is also there. Visit updation with remarks with the entire trail of visit details made in the particular borrower segment. Trail of past follow-up history is also maintained. Now, the benefit of Arjun application is the entire collection process through Arjun will be digitalized, optimized, and through this we can ensure the effective credit monitoring and the recovery of collection management. Due to the geo-location facility, it will greatly reduce the recovery turnaround time, and it will improve the collection efficiency and customer engagement by reducing the turnaround time and by directly contacting from the branches and also from the field offices to the customers through Arjun application. It will also increase the staff productivity by reducing the manual work in preparing the workout for deriving the overdues and all. And it will greatly reduce the credit losses, sir, in terms of higher provisioning. As per the RBI guideline, we need to classify the account NPA on daily basis. So in the daily basis scenario, in the daily stamping scenario, we need to act upon on the delinquent account from the day one of default, and Arjun application will greatly help in doing so. So it will reduce the credit losses. Now, with the enhancement ticker, with the ticker of announcement, we can enhance the responsiveness of our employees. So the roadmap ahead.
Just sorry, fonts are missing.
Yeah, so the roadmap for Arjun application in phase 2, we have planned for integration of collection module with payment gateway. Through this, we can directly send SMS through payment link to the borrowers, and by accessing that payment link, the borrowers can directly make payment using his card details or using the payment gateway as per his convenience, and the automatic receipt will be generated and will be shared on his WhatsApp or registered mobile numbers. There is one another facility we have planned for updating of visit details, which will take care of visit compliances and end use verification report, because we are tagging the geolocation of particular field officer. So this will greatly enhance the actual visit compliance. Apart from this, we are also integrating the responses which we are capturing from Arjun with all other application and MIS reports, so that we can have a 360-degree view of customer responses. Apart from this, there are intelligent data points improvements of the field collection efficiency. That's all from my part, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. What is the current level of NPAs in your bank, and what is your roadmap to bring them down, say in next 3-4 years?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Divesh Dinkar, Head of IT. Sir, this is a pertinent question. Before I reply that NPA, I'd tell you that this type of app and the dashboard has really helped the bank. Today, we are at 0.42% in terms of our net NPA, and stress level has also reduced by half.
With the introduction of Arjun?
So Arjun is an extension of credit monitoring Hawkeye. What we have done around a year ago, we have developed credit monitoring Hawkeye module. It is a web-based module, a dashboard with similar features, and that has been brought in the app, because as we know that mobile app is very, very important today. So that it is available for all the staff members in the field. So that is helping a lot, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you, please. Thank you.
What is the growth level after introduction of this current app?
Sir, growth in the sense that this app is focused towards reduction of stress accounts and the NPAs. So that is what I told initially. That has been substantially reduced. If you talk about SMA, the SMA count, which was hovering around 8 to 9%, it has been brought down to 5 to 6% in the bank. So that's it. That's our output collection efficiency and the monitoring output out of this app.
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Settlement process. And here I'm going to take you through the presentation, which will explain the journey of the claimant throughout this claim settlement process. It's actually a digital journey for which we have developed this application, which is the first of its kind, and this Bank of Maharashtra has developed, and the name we have given specifically Suvidha, which itself talks about the convenience that it offers to the claimants for the settlement of the deceased claims.
Sir, is screen visible, sir?
I said this is the name that has been given to this specific utility, which has been designed for the convenience of the claimants who will be intimating the deceased claims. So, sir, this is an initiative by Bank of Maharashtra, and through this Suvidha platform, BOM is the first bank for making this deceased claim settlement process online, and it offers the claimants facility to initiate the claim process for their deceased customer. And we have linked this particular utility from our bank's corporate website. So anyone having access to bank's corporate website should be able to lodge the claim from there. Suvidha, the second point about Suvidha is that it has been designed for the convenience of claimants, for the intimation of the deceased claims. And as we said, it's going to be a hassle-free journey for the claimants because they can lodge the claims digitally and they can register the request for the settlement. The third thing is that the Suvidha portal, it is a unique feature here is that the deceased person might be having their accounts in multiple branches across the Bank of Maharashtra. So here we are giving the facility to the claimant to select the branch as per his or her convenience amongst the branches where the deceased person was having his account. So this is one of the unique things that we are providing to him. The claimant is there; he can select the branch as per his or her convenience. Where he needs to visit further. So what were the challenges that we were facing in the current system, and because of which we have moved on to digitizing this entire journey of the claim settlement. The first thing was that manual processing was involved in the existing process. It was a little bit complex in nature. There was no assurance for claim settlement, inconvenience to the deceased family. There was no defined tag as to how many days it is going to take for the entire settlement process. It was a time-consuming affair, and the possibility of corruption, the rate of possibility of corruption also increases. So currently, most of the banks are handling this settlement process manually, and which causes a lot of inconvenience to the bereaved family members because of the much delay in the claim settlement process. So as we said here is the purpose of developing this unique application called Suvidha, that first it serves the customer with simplicity. Herein, we are offering the flexibility for submission of claim, Without visiting the branch, they can do it through the online mode by logging into the or by visiting the bank's website. The entire journey of the deceased claim settlement has been digitized. That is, the portal is to be used by the claimant for intimation of claim to the bank branch of the deceased customer, and moreover, the tracking of the status of the funds request can be done by the claimant anytime through the portal. Speedy and timely disposal of the claim happens here, and it helps the claimant to track the status of the deceased claim intimation which has been given to the preferred branch. Suvidha portal is available to anyone who has access to the bank's corporate website across India. So here one more thing is that the turnaround time of the claim settlement process, we can measure it, and thereby we can work on further reduction of the tag by the bank. The innovation aspects here. The first is that BOM is pioneer, as we said, that we are the first one to have made the deceased claim settlement system online, and we have integrated the same through our bank's corporate website. Now, the second thing is that the claimant or the legal heirs or the family members of the deceased person, they do not need to visit the branch physically for lodging the claim settlement request in case of death of their guardian or the family member. The access is there anytime, anywhere because of the availability of the link to the bank's website. Tracking and monitoring the status of existing claim request by the claimant can be done by himself or herself. What benefits does Suvidha offer? Many of these benefits have already been explained in the earlier slides. Still, I would just take on the few things. Suvidha portal accessibility is from anywhere in India through the website. It allows the claimant to select the branch as per their convenience, allows the claimant to download the application formats which are needed for the settlement of the claims. And the turnaround time can be measured, and thereby it can be reduced by the branches. And with this, we ensure the timely and speedy recovery. From here, we'll show you the claimant journey, how he has to go and access this particular portal. So visit our website, that is bankofmaharashtra.in. Here we have given a link on which the claimant has to click to go on to the next page. Now, once he clicks on that link, he has the option of registering a new claim or track existing claim. Once he has made the request, already registered, then he has to go further for tracking the existing claim. So the first time when he registers a new claim, the next slide shows, it asks for the nominee confirmation, whether you are a nominee or not. So he clicks whether whether he's a nominee or not. Then the third step is filing of claim intimation. So here it is asking for the intimation of the deceased person. So what was the name of the deceased person? What was the date of demise? And you need to upload the death certificate as a proof of the demise of that particular customer. And you enter the CAPTCHA and submit. Next step, from the list of, maybe you have the passbook or any other document of the deceased person, you have to see the account numbers from here, and you just keep on adding any number of accounts that you see for that particular customer. You enter the account, you have the facility of adding multiple accounts over here. Once you enter the account number, which he has of Bank of Maharashtra, the other fields like the branch code, branch name, and all those are getting picked up from the system and displayed. Then the next step is the intimation of that particular claimant. So the claimant has to give the details about himself or herself also. So the claimant name, the claimant what is the second one? Claimant mobile number and the claimant email ID. So this mobile number and the email ID, when the claimant gives, it will be verified by way of OTP. And then the next was claim type and the details whether he has account with Bank of Maharashtra or with other bank. This is required for the settlement of the claim later on. If the claimant wants to track the registration, whatever he has done, if he wants to track the status, he has to go to the track claim application status. Once the claim has been registered by the claimant, a reference number will be generated, which will be started with D0, and he will receive a pop-up message saying that your request is being verified by the branch, and after successful verification, you will receive acknowledgement. Kindly note your reference number for further use or for future use. We already have our internal portal, that is the Bank of Maharashtra's internal intranet portal. which takes this particular journey. Once the applications are received from the online mode through the corporate website, the branch whichever the claimant has selected, that branch receives the list of pending requests received from the online mode on their dashboard. And accordingly, the further steps are being performed in the intranet portal of the bank. The status as and when the branch changes the status, this will be reflected when the customer or when the claimant visits the bank's website and tracks the claim. So there you will be receiving the updated status, whatever is happening at the branch level, and it has reached up to what level. So we can say with this, the utility that we have developed for our customer, that is simplified. Online claim lodgement is being done, less paperwork, timely settlement of claims, tracking the progress can be done, tag monitoring can be done. So it is accessible, convenient, and hassle-free utility. Thank you, sir, once again for having given us this opportunity to showcase our product.
Thank you, ma'am. Very comprehensive presentation covering all the aspects. How many cases have been successfully done on this system?
Sir, we have launched this product on our bank's business commencement day, which was on 8th of February 2023. After that, we have received around 12 applications to this online mode.
Okay. That it is recently launched, so it will take some time to.
Some time for the yes, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, please.
Thank you, sir.
No specific question, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Process automation. Okay, so by definition, robotic process of automation is a software technology.
Is the screen visible, sir?
This robotic process automation is a software technology that makes it easy to build, deploy, and manage software robots, which can emulate the human actions with digital systems and softwares. So, what exactly happens that it understands what is there on the screen. It uses the actual keystrokes to navigate through the system and then it can identify the data, it can extract the data, and it can perform the wide range of defined functions or actions. So, the bank has introduced this system, robotic process automation system, in the month of December. Okay, so when we started implementation of this system, we faced multiple challenges when we went ahead for implementation of this system. One of the major challenge was there is a lack of understanding among the business users about the process automation. Then there was another challenge as a typical public sector organization. So how to choose and how to select the business case. So whenever we were as a technology department, whenever we went to the user department for identification of a particular process. So instead of giving a process or telling a process which can be automated, wherein human intervention can be reduced and accuracy can be brought in, people tend to give some the MIS requirements all the time, that I need this report, I need that report, something like that. So that was one of the challenge we faced. Then there was a challenge of data dependency, because multiple systems, many of the user departments actually they take the data from MIS, and actual reporting they do some working on that data using Excel or some other tool, and then they process the data. So there is no defined process as such which can be reduced into a logical steps, which can be bifurcated into a logical step. So those were the challenges. Okay, so this is how this RPA is adopted. So the process automation life cycle of RPA is that first of all, calculate and understand the automation complexity of the in-scope process. So firstly, we need to calculate and understand the complexity of the process. That means how this process, how many systems are involved, and what is the navigation, wherein we need to go to the database, where we have to go to the interactive login or navigation through the system. The second one is designing of the solution. So how to here at this stage it is to be thought of that how this process can be transformed or means translated into the design of the particular solution. Then building of the process, then testing of the process, and then close monitoring of the system, whether the system is performing well, how we can again tune the system to improve the performance of the system. So next one is this is the evaluation process. First one, there is a business problem complexity. So it has to be defined how big and complex is the process. So it is based on the what is the volume of data. Under that data volume, how much is the structured data, how much is the unstructured data, because a special efforts, additional efforts should be required for handling the unstructured data. We need to find the logic into unstructured data also. Then there are legacy systems we need to, as a bank, we need to deal with a lot of legacy systems. So there are some systems which cannot be changed also, like bank's core banking system. So it is a suppose you take an example of Bank of Maharashtra. We have deployed this system in 2006, and till date there is no replacement for this system, and we cannot do much thing into this system. Much changes cannot be done. So now what we need to do is build the system around that system. Okay, without much changes into the base system, because we cannot change it. Then how we can improve the operation, that is also another point of consideration. Then what is the investment required, and how the process can be executed operationally. So these are the benefits of robotic process automation. So it can be give the effective use of human resources. Then customer interaction can be enhanced using this RPA technology. Then a refresh for legacy IT infrastructure, and cost reduction is always there. Then we can have improved analytics for workflow management. Governance will be improved. Then scalability is also one of the factors we can consider. It's a secure solution, and definitely it will give a clear advantage over the competitors. Next one, skip this one. But this is also this is the technology architecture. We will go to the next step. So since December, we have taken multiple processes for automation. So this is one of the use case we want to showcase here. It is automation of internet banking user creation process. So our earlier process was branches used to collect the application from the corporate users, and they used to punch that application into some system, and next day somebody some officer sitting at head office used to process that application. Now this corporate internet banking application is slightly different than the retail application, because in case of retail it is a single click operation, wherein if some retail customer wants an internet banking, somebody enables a flag and internet banking is issued to the customer. In case of corporate internet banking, we need to map the workflow of a particular organization, corporate organization, wherein there will be maker, checker, approver, supervisor. All those authorization matrix need to be configured into the system. So, what we did here is, so we created a robotic process wherein system. This robot will do the action like an user, so it will be navigating through the system. We have defined the steps, like in this particular case of IB corporate user creation. User has to first create the corporate ID, so they have to put the customer ID and create a corporate ID. Then there are multiple levels of users. So that matrix multiple levels has to be created. Then the third step is creation of authorization matrix. Means suppose there is an operator, then there is an approver, then there is a manager. So which user will be doing what? And suppose somebody has created the entry, then who is going to authorize at next level, and whether there is a further level of authorization or not. And there is the amount level authorization matrix is also there. So all these things are need to be configured. Then creation of user ID and dispatch of password on email. So all these actions, it used to take 7 to 10 minutes for one processing of one corporate internet banking application. So now we have reduced the time and the TAT also, because in earlier case, user ID and password were delivered to the customer on next working day, that is T+1. But now, as soon as the application is submitted at the branch and branch punch the application in the intranet, immediately user ID and password is created and it is delivered to the customer. So here we have what we are achieving here is number one is accuracy. Number two is we don't need a deputy person for this particular activity, and it's a improved TAT for delivery of this particular service. So one more use case we would like to discuss here is the social media response management. So as you know, in the this digital era, bank need to be at on the social and digital media. So bank is already having a account on Facebook. There is a Facebook page. Then we have an Instagram account, LinkedIn account, YouTube, Twitter. Then we have mobile banking application, wherein their application is available on Play Store and Apple Store. So there also people put their feedback. So in the existing process, we have deputed 2 people who will between a frequency of time, they will be visiting this particular social media sites and used to see what is there, if somebody has put any message, any complaint or any request on the social media site, and then they will be taking an action like forwarding that particular request to the respective department or the respective user. So what we have done here is that this trend bot will be crawling through all these social media sites. So with a frequency of maybe 15 minutes, we'll go to the Facebook and we'll see whether anything new has come to the Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, and it will capture the post given by the user, and it will put it the same thing into a particular database. Okay. And now this database is shown to the user as a dashboard, and somebody, one person is there, will be sitting and allotting this particular request to the respective departments, and all these departments can take the action on the this social media response. So this by automating this particular process, number one, we are saving on the manpower, and the response time is improved, much improved than the earlier one. So the next use case is public financial management system. It's for PFMS. So in the earlier system, we have put multiple system wherein there's some scheduled jobs where they have to extract the data, get the data, put it to the database, and post that for processing the transaction. We have put some people who will be uploading this data into the core banking system for processing of the payments. So by putting this bot, we have automated the complete process wherein there is no person involved. Only one supervisor we have kept who is monitoring the actions taken by the bot, whether the bot is doing the things properly or not. Here also, what we achieved is the improved TAT. So this is very complaint prone area, this PFMS payments, because it's very critical for government departments to credit the benefits to the DBT account holders. Then there are payments to the vendors, there are salaries processed through this system. So this is an advantage to the bank. Then one more process we want to discuss here is Vahan registration. So whenever bank gives a vehicle loan to any customer, so post disbursement of the loan, our branch users were supposed to log in into the Vahan portal, e-Vahan portal of Government of India, and they need to check whether this disbursement is end use of the disbursement is proper or not, and they need to see whether hypothecation in the name of branch is there or not in the Vahan portal. But it has been observed that post disbursal, the rate means the percentage of people using this doing this particular action was very less, because there is a separate user ID password provided to the branch manager. They have to go into that particular site and then put the engine number or registration number and see the thing. So that even though it is a part of compliance, but it was not happening actually. So what we did here is we put this bot for this work. So whatever vehicle loans are sanctioned and wherein we have received the registration number from the customer. So what this bot does is it interactively logs into the Vahan system. We have created one user ID and password for this bot. It will go there and put the vehicle registration number. It will scroll through the output of the inquiry, and it will check whether the name of the it will get the data from that system. It will check the hypothecation in whose name hypothecation is there. It will verify Bank of Maharashtra is there or not, and it will store the data against the that particular loan account number, that proper hypothecation is there. So in this way we are doing a compliance that there is a proper end use of the vehicle loan. So by that we will come to know if there is any fraud committed by any customer. So immediately after disbursement we will be able to know that, and we can take the further action on this. So that is the benefit. So compliance is the major benefit out of this process. Similarly, there is one more process called SKOCH registration. So whenever bank does any mortgages, so it is necessary for the bank that that mortgage has to be registered to the SKOCH portal of the Government of India. So similarly, like the earlier process, what this bot does is it takes the loan sanction data and it logs into the SKOCH portal. It's an interactive login, human-less interactive login, and it actually does the data entry as some human is doing the data entry. And it saves the data and take the number, whatever SKOCH number is there, and that update that number into the core banking system. So this is again a part of compliance. Here this action used to be done earlier. This action was done by each and every branch manager. So we have relieved all 2,300 branch managers from this tedious work by deploying this bot. So in further roadmap, we want to deploy this bot mainly in the process of reconciliation, wherein the current process of reconciliation is on T+1 basis. Hence all the digital transactions we reconcile on T+1, which is actually we are complying to the guidelines, but we want to bring this reconciliation on same day, the very day on which transaction is happening. So we want to perform this reconciliation process on the same day, so that we, in case of we can reduce the customer complaints also by doing this. Suppose some transaction is failed, customer has not received the money in ATM or something like that. So we can immediately, this reconciliation process will identify the entry and we can credit back the amount to the customer's account. Again, in case of social media responses in this phase 2 we are calling this. So we'll be adding some machine learning to the process, and for some typical queries or typical posts we receive on social media, this bot will be trained to respond immediately on the social media queries and responses. So that is the plan. Next one. Okay, sir, that's all from our side. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Very good. I think these robotic process and bot chatbot software, they are fine, no problem. They also help you in responding to your customers very quickly. But you will appreciate that not all the queries are resolved by robots, and robot cannot answer all the questions. But please keep a parallel line also, so that customers can quickly switch over to the next helpline.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There are certain things which cannot be replaced. Only one can do that work, right?
But there should be some mechanism by which his issues are resolved quickly. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for the customers to depend fully on robot. Thank you, sir. Otherwise, it is appreciable.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, have you built in some feedback mechanism on problems encountered by consumers from time to time?
Yes, sir. There are multiple avenues available for the customer to submit the feedback. Like in our internet banking, every time user logs out, we ask for feedback. That is one option. He can submit the feedback. Similar facilities available on mobile banking also. Then on our ATMs also, there is a feedback option. Every time the transaction completes, so we display a screen to the customer. Then you want to say something. So then if you want to talk to somebody, you submit your mobile number, that facility is there. Then we are part of that Government of India Ingram system, that is the complaint management system. Then that SPGRS system is there, which is available on our website, wherein they can do the inquiry, they can put the request, and they can put the complaints also. And there are multiple categories defined under that, whether it is a digital channel related or branch related or bad behavior by the branch staff, or it is for internet banking or ATM. Multiple categories are there. They receive a unique reference number through which they can again track the complaint, and this is monitored very closely. There is a separate customer service redressal department is there in the bank.
Okay, good enough. Thank you. This will help your system to improve further.
Thank you, sir.
Projects. The Kajab, I would say, is the Kavach is a concept that has been initiated by the Bank of Maharashtra, and it is, I would say, beyond the cyber security. The platform that we have initiated is towards the cyber resilience. So it is no longer on a single concern to defend the periphery with respect to the cyber threats, but to have a very, very cyber resilience in the entire ecosystem with respect to the cyber threats. So I would say the ingredients would be to move ahead from the cyber security to a very, very robust cyber resilience system, wherein we need to defend, we need to withstand, and also we need to have a recovery process well in time to have a streamlined process with respect to the businesses, and the cyber issues are mitigated. So the entire concept with respect to this Kavach has been initiated within Bank of Maharashtra with per se as a focus towards the cyber resilience. And I would say the ingredients towards this entire concept is first the product, that is the various initiatives with respect to the technologies that we have implemented, that I will be just sharing within the subsequent slides. Second is the manner that we have implemented with respect to the use cases. And third, and the most important, is with respect to the awareness within the team members and for the, I would say, the customers for which these products have been onboarded. to have the security and the resilience within the ecosystem. So I would request, sir, from Bank of Maharashtra side, this presentation should not be seen specifically from the technology side, but as an entire new, I would say not new, but a concept starting from security to the resilience. And one more just things to add within the concept is that we are also, I would say, sir, removing the obsolete and the old technologies that were implemented in any organization, including in Bank of Maharashtra, with respect to this coverage. So it's an entire concept that we have built up in this year, and we will be continuing in the next ones also. So as I said, initiated in my first slides, it's a concept that covers a 360-degree view of the cybersecurity and moving towards a cyber resilience, so that we have the, I would say, not only the defensive, but also mechanism to recover and to have a continuity in the services. And with respect to the projects that we have incorporated in this specific solutions, covers all those vectors. In the sense, it also covers the endpoint vectors, it also covers the threats towards the web and also towards the network. So it's a very, very cautious decision in the sense the security products that we need to implement in the bank should take a 360-degree view, in the sense covering all the aspects through which the threats are generally expected. And the next one, as I just quoted before, sir, we also need to move ahead in the technology and remove the old ones. Just to give an example, just EDR we have most of the banks have done, including us also, but we also remove the, I would say, old and previous technologies, so that we have a focused and the consolidated projects that we have implemented. And the most important is that I will be sharing in detail is the information security awareness that is within the bank and from top to bottom. It starts from the, I would say, branch to the maximum and the top executives, directors level also. Then what is the innovative features that we have done? So as a very, very basic and the most important is the zero trust model for any information security or the cyber security. Though those have been incorporated. How we have incorporated, we will be sharing towards the each and every product that we have implemented within this. So coverage, we are focusing within a span of last, I would say, 8 to 9 months, wherein we have implemented and we have sensitized and we have also percolated within the bank. And the focus has on both internal and as well as the external threats with respect to the processes, with respect to the technologies also. And naturally, when we are strengthening our systems, the controls and the compliance and the accounting measures are naturally strengthened through a monitoring and the auditing mechanism. The problems that it is being solved as a concept is, as we are more and more digitalizing in each and every aspect, channels also, and vis-a-vis the respective perimeter level also, then we have more chances of getting hit by the different vectors. So as I told before, so I'm just reiterating, we have incorporated almost all the vectors, that is network, endpoint, and the web level to cater this requirement. And banks targets, that is the focus towards the from our side, is to protect to the optimum level of all the PI information, because data security, I would say, is the paramount as of now, besides other peripheral security also. And to prevent new threats that are zero-day or the APT attacks types that we are that we have implemented through various concepts like EDR and the SSOs. So just to give a glimpse with respect to technology, what are the solutions that we have taken under the ambit of this coverage concept? So from the first leg of the coverage, that is the technology, these are the projects that we have implemented, revamped within the bank. And these are not only these are the solution that we have taken from the OEM, but the manner which we have implemented by optimizing the policies that are very, very specific to Bank of Maharashtra's environment, and how best we have taken the optimized performance from these products. And just to quote DLP, FRA, DICT, so a single slide on each one I will be sharing and giving my specific inputs, DAM, EDR, and the SSL. So these are specific, this slide gives a glimpse of the technologies that we have implemented. That is the first log of the entire coverage concept. EDR, EDR endpoint detection response covers are the endpoint security solutions. So endpoints from the bank perspective, from the bank's perspective, the endpoints are I would say, is a major challenge from the technology side in terms of to roll it out. Thank you. From the technology perspective, the endpoint is I would say, is the maximum challenge to roll it out, because we have 15,000 plus endpoints. It's not a single shot that it goes through, and we have the other mechanisms also to roll it out, that is remotely and other stuff. And the technology benefit is it also not only detects but also given automated response to quarantine and to eradicate itself from the network. For an example, if particular endpoints get compromised for any XYZ reasons, then it will isolate itself from the network. That are the types of policies we have implemented. Firewall rule analyzer is the second one. So this covers the first very layer of the defense. That is at the first hit that will any transaction or on the any connection with bank will be happen. So FRA optimizes the level of rules that banks have implemented through the FRA. Most of the banks right now gets a number of IOCs from NCI PCs. Almost on a daily basis, we get I would say 25 to 30. And not only it's very specific to Bank of Maharashtra, but entire banking history. So there are a lot of rules that needs to be implemented at the firewall end. So in order to ensure we have the optimum performance and there is no much of impact due to the, I would say, overload on the firewall, this tool is very, very beneficial to optimize the performance of the firewall, so that we do not compromise with respect to the rules that are required to be implemented to, I would say, restrict any sort of malicious connection, but also should not create any lag. So this tool is very, very I would say this tool will specifically helped us to optimize and have a balance between the performance and the rules that we are daily implementing in one or the other mechanism. DLP, sir, I said data security is the paramount, and recently the bill that is soon might be going to convert it towards the act is the data security bill, and that will further sanitize this I would say PIA information. So background work has been started by our bank itself. We have specific policies implemented so that the data does not percolates to the outer I would say outside the banks, and number of policies have been implemented. When I'm saying that DLP, it's not only covers the endpoints or the, I would say, desktops, but also the email mechanism also. Because naturally there are two very, very popular mechanism through which data generally gets moved out from the bank system. That is the endpoint. Second is through the email. So we have implemented the policy with respect to the outbound, I would say, traffic that is possible in any mechanism beyond those ESP blocking, all those stuff. And if at all for any exceptional cases, for some business requirement, if at all certain requirement is there, we do take care of that. But it is the approach of, I would say, blacklisting, deny by all except there is a requirement, business requirement. Database access management is would be, I would say, within the perimeter of the bank. The DBAs who are using the and maintaining the entire application of the bank, ensuring the uptime performance of the applications, it is very, very critical activity for the DBAs, and DAM solution helps us to ensure the proper, I would say, monitoring of those activities also. So the authentication may be done by a number of mechanism, but the authorization and the level of the activities and the I would say checks and balances with respect to the compliance of this through this tool. So we have a mechanism of the authorization and of the, I would say, overseeing of the critical most resources in the organization that are DBAs. That is being performed through this solution. So I'm not going into the specific name of the OEMs, but the functionalities that we have implemented and how we are specifically molding it to the Bank of Maharashtra's use case. That is the focus of my presentation. Next one is again a endpoint solution, that is DICT, Data Identification Classification Tool. It's normally gelled with the DLPs, because first we require to have a classification of the tool, I would say data, then the DLP is applied. So we have done in this conjunction with that. The data is internally classified within the bank as sensitive, non-sensitive information based on the PIAs or the general, I would say, normal files that are used by the within the bank system. So that data classification is done within the banks depending on our ISO SMS framework. We have classified the nature of the data that has to be there within the bank, and that inputs have been used in the DICT, then further percolated to the DLP implementation also. So SSL orchestration is and next project that we have implemented with respect to the data or the network traffic inspection. So it works at the network side, and it very I would say helps along with the our firewall and the WAF to inspect the traffic. Traffic inspection is the USP of this project, and the SSL offloading, so that the performance of the respective servers also is optimized, because the offloading is done of the SSLs at a leg before it comes to the server side. So it's performing on, I would say, providing the value addition to the bank on both sides. One is the security through the inspection side, and also by offloading the by minimizing the impact on the servers by offloading it a step before only. That is one of the USP of this. So, sir, as I said, technologies that are showcased through this project is one mechanism. The way Bank of Maharashtra is implemented specifically to its use cases is the second most important point, and the third is the foremost is the KAVACH knowledge series that we have internally initiated within the bank. So the USP with respect to this KAVACH knowledge awareness is we are emphasizing on the projects that we have implemented, so that it gives an comfort, and the rollouts are further smoothened by the coordination with the respective fields functionaries also. That is one part. Second is the getting the inputs from the business department, so that specific policies that may further enhance the bank's resilience is the second part. And also availing, I would say, make awareness to the top management, from top management to the bottom branch officers. That is the third part. So it is not very generic in nature, but we have focused approach towards this, so that our implementation and our awareness that's go hand in hand. Generally, we have seen it goes, trainings are done very at a later stage than the specific implementation are there. So we have also typed with one of the top not-for-profit organization for this purpose. And we are having further. We recently have a tabletop exercise with our top executives on that aspect. And the idea is just to give a glimpse that we have well gelled our both strategies. That is the awareness perspective and also the technology perspective, so that both are well implemented, both are well thought of, and both are well percolated within the field also, and even the top executives are aware of. So we have the contribution from our CDOs to CTOs, from the top EDs, all participate in such awareness programs besides the normal trainings that we have. The major outcome of this project is to have optimum level of the resilience in the bank, so that God for sake, if certain hits are happened, then how we are from the knowledge perspective are taking our business forward. Because recently we have seen number of attacks have happened, and I would say the majority of them are from phishing and the ransomware side. And from that perspective, the end user is the, I would say, the both weakest and as well as the strongest link. So in order to have that confidence, we are having this combination build up to have a robust resilient mechanism, so that we have a continuity in the services, because people need to know what to do and how to do. And so moving beyond the security to have an adaptability and the continuity of the service is the major outcome of this project. But I won't say it has the net result, because it would be percolating year by year, and we will be enhancing further in that respect. So it's very specific to our Bank of Maharashtra. The journey that we had traveled over the years, from 2013 we implemented the first SOC probably in the industry. In 2018 we went for a CSOC as per the cybersecurity framework of the RBI. In 2016 we mapped our entire architecture with respect to the that framework. Then 2022 is the KAVACH concept that we have implemented, wherein, as I mentioned in my presentation, we have gelled in both our I would say technology implementation as well as the awareness point and the policies and the implementation part. And will as a strategy, sir, by our top authorities and the support that we are getting, we will be continuing such more series even in the next year. We'll have a next version of this, and we have already have a thought process done, and we will be rolling out the next, I would say, some CSOC, next gen CSOC and the SOR. So that is something I would say way ahead. But I would, sir, again emphasize on the point that the USP of this KAVACH concept is not only technology, but also the way we are implementing specifically to a Bank of Maharashtra and also percolating through the various sessions and the seminars internally, very specific to this products, and also removing the obsolete and the outdated technology so that refresh already automatically happens rather than we get it complied through an audit or the IT examinations. Thank you, sir. That was all from my side on this specific implementation.
Thank you, Atulji. Very good project, particularly your resilient features, which you have indicated in your presentation.
Yes,
You
sir.
have indicated that you will be moving to the next version. So what special features you would like to include in your next version?
Sir, right now there's a very buzzword, I would say, XDR. So people interpret in a very different way, but we are having a deep dive in the XDR to give you a specific question. We will be going for an XDR technology as our next ahead, and the SIM and the SOAR, how we need to optimize that we are internally seeing, but XDR would be a specific answer to that, and it will be done in a very I would say real spirit, because I have seen personally people calling the EDR also an XDR because it's confined to just an endpoint solution, but somehow it is used in the industry. But our point of view that we are evaluating is beyond the endpoint and from the perimeter side. That is the logic and the thought process we are moving ahead toward XDR.
Okay, thank you, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, any question?
Sir, the system you are developing, is it compatible with RBI guidelines?
Sir, this specific is compatible because RBI is right now also moving from security to resilience, though they have not specifically come out with a framework. We have internationally number of frameworks with respect to the cyber resilience, and recently, sir, I went certain trainings also under the guidance of the RBI. So they are also shared with us in the latest, I would say next year, they are somewhere in April, they are coming out with a master directive on the digitals, wherein they will be flow certain elements. But we thought initially, let assume 6 months back only to have this done. So we may not be very much specific aligned to any specific RBI framework because, frankly, it is not there on cyber resilience. But as a good practice, we are having international standards. We may not be copying that, but as a thought process, we are moving in that direction.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
In the state, have more than 30 lakh customer base. Most of the 90% of the belong to the rural area. We provide the services to the rural area as well as the urban citizen very hassle free. We have 431 branches, 90% branches in the rural area, covering all the district of the Punjab. Our bank was established under the Regional Rule Act of 1976, sponsored by Punjab National Bank. State-wise amalgamated, it was on the 1st January 2019. Our vision to become the most trusted and committed organization for our customer, we are already doing well. Mission: provide comprehensive financial services to empower the poor, to empower the women, realize their potential, and to get rid of the poverty on the downtrodden people. Value our bank is customer friendly through service with hospitality, respect, providing services very comfortably to our each and every customer. Strategy for sustainability and growth: we are focusing on neutralizing the dependence on the regular interest income, which is the main source of a third party social scheme. Investment surplus fund, which we are investing with the GSEC and other avenues, which are better than other advanced purpose. Bank's biggest strength comes from its customer, and in order to extend the customer base, we are launching time to time various type of campaign for advances, deposit, CASA, social security scheme to generate the business under third party, which can help our improvement of our profit. We are also emphasizing that the Punjab National Bank should be sensed in every household of the Punjab through the upper rural branches. Our most basis on rural branches. The strong foundation ensures longevity in order to effectively reach the message. Field staff needed to be properly equipped with required training and guidance. We are providing the training of our staff member with the various institutions like BIRD, NIMSM, CAB, a PRB sponsored institution. With a view to proper implementation of the government sponsored scheme, we are getting half the work done towards sustainable growth. Field staff has been kept in the prime focus and motivated training session have been organized through the year with our own institution and other institution. A regional portion of the bank profit gets hit by its non-performing asset, which puncturing the regular income wheel, and their provisioning further hits the mileage. You would appreciate, and presently our net NPA is likely to 0%, approximate 0%. To keep this situation under control, the practice of the continuous follow-up has been started and popularizing the flexible customer-friendly policy, OTS policy, to reduce the NPA further, total NPA further. Challenging we are going to face, being an RRB, we are not restricted by will, but the required sources which some will impact our strength to compete with the big player of the industry like Roberts Nationalized Bank, Private Bank, and Small Finance Bank. During the COVID, our growth, we did not allow our growth to stop. Even during the COVID period, we provided the service, door-to-door service to our customer at the time of need. In general, the public during the COVID period used to have a habit of less saving to reasonable extent hurdle, which is the main challenge. Unaggregate on our institutional sector of the economy was badly hit by the COVID pandemic, resulting to drastic reduction of the income, leading to low recovery of the advances. This is one of the main challenge. Average cost of fund available in the bank is on higher side for lending. Net margin is going thin day by day. Deposit rates, with the comparison of the other bank, we have to increase our deposit rate, but we cannot charge the rate of advances as much. So we belong to our base is on the rural base. So we have priority to help of the poor people which are living in the villages. Our field staff working with the conventional approach of the lending mostly for the short-term agricultural activities, which initially was speed breaker towards our goal of the sustainability. Reaching to mass on a campaign mode to ensure our reach to every home of the Punjab. We have staff mostly of the local belong to the Punjab, and the localization is one of the most benefit to our institution. We provide the services, no communication problem. Just help us to improve day by day better. Popularization of our available banking facility and ensure to get them extended to our stream customer. Training and motivation session for the field staff organized time to time. Whenever they demand, any demand is raised from the field, we immediately arrange the training for those people. We are diversifying for the last 2 years. Before 2 years, we were more focusing on the agriculture based. 90% of our agriculture based. For the last 2 years, we are changing the trend of advancing, diversifying towards retail, SME, investment credit, and along with the government schemes. Developed a robust customer base to ensure regular inflow or deposit. We are taking up which influential people of the area where our branches to improve our business. We are requesting with them people to add more customer with our bucket. In order to increase the spread of non-interest income, we are focusing third-party business like we have the famous scheme, Care, MetLife, etc. In addition to these, we are also we are doing very well in the social security scheme. We are also generating income from that area. Our flexible, customer-friendly policies and continuous follow-up enable us to improve our recovery position and allowed us to increase our profit. So, for the comparison of the growth is concerned, during the 21-22, our deposits were 12,208 as on 20th Feb 2023, 12,941. Total business 2,930 as on date 21,781. We have the target to touch 23,000 crore business as on 31st March, or we will certainly achieve it. Comparison of non-interest income, last year we have non-interest income were about 37 crore. This year 45 crore. Overall net profit last year was 108 crore. Now 185 crore as on date. Increase in reserving leading to sustainable growth. Last year our reserve was 1,162 crore. As on date 1,319 crore, which is very good growth in there. Increase in penetration under social security scheme, PMSY 1,77,000, PMJJY 85,000, APY 29,000. We also achieved national level APY for the last 2 years award under APY. Performance under micro credit facility during the past. We are encouraging our branch staff to link self-help group, GLG, for the people belong to the rural area. During last year, we have linked 991 self-help group. Up to this, 1,520 we have linked. Last year we have linked 1,700 about GLG. As on date, we have 2,034 GLG as on date. Sustainable business growth. Last year, number of beneficiaries under the government scheme was 212. As on date, 363. France, last year about 15 crore, this year about 39 crore. Since inception, 70 crore. Stand Up India, last year we have financed 20 projects under Stand Up India. This year we are already financed to 47 projects. So far the Prime Minister Mudra Yojana is concerned, last year our progress was 19,000, more than 19,000, and the disbursement was 241 crore. As on date, approximately 41,000, and disbursement is 511 crore. The benefit of the solution implemented is the lending of our bank weaker section of the 28th Feb reached 61 of the total advances against the national goal of 15%. Under women beneficiary, we achieved more than 19% against the goal of 6%, and under property sector, we achieved approximately 93% against the national goal of 75%. Our bank effectively implemented to employment generation scheme with an objective to minimize the post-pandemic effect on the economic status of the rural poor. Since inception of the scheme, we advanced to more than 1,900 applicants. The lending under PMAY during 2021 to 22 was 141 crore. During this year, 511 crore. The all-out effort have resulted in overall increase of more than 12% in total loans outstanding as on 28th Feb, as compared to 7.3% as on 28th Feb. Our future roadmap, future expansion plan is providing training to the newly recruited field functionary and due motivation to form self-help group and JLG, so that the rural population would be covered under credit facility. Signing MOU, tie-up government agency for implementation of new scheme, have an easier process of documentation and providing finance at low cost, like we have managed the written the apna NSBC, NSFDC, like spy Karamchari. We have made the MOU this agency for providing the credit on the lower rate to our customer. Utilization of the multi-sensory marketing, communication, digital marketing of product and services to reach all segment of the people for fulfilling their credit. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravindra ji. Very good presentation. I think the next growth may come in your sector from MSME lending, because now the effect of COVID has gone. So definitely MSME need more support from banks lending. Thank you, sir.
Sir, we are focusing on these segment also.
Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No specific questions, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Respected jury members, the officials from SKOCH Group, my peer participants, myself, Dr. Chetna Pandey, DGM HR from Union Bank of India. Really thankful for giving me this opportunity to present one of our flagship project, Union Prerna, which is an HR transformation project involving multiple areas of HR transformation in the process, as well as leveraging technology, bringing in digital tools. This program we initiated when post-amalgamation Union Bank of India became the 5th largest public sector bank, and we amalgamated two legacy banks, Andhra and Corporation, with us, growing in size. So now we needed a complete comprehensive HR process package, which was best in the industry, also suiting to the needs of our bank. So moving ahead, this Prerna project is a comprehensive HR transformation project which completely involves three main pillars. Number one is the performance orientation through revamp of performance management system, bringing in talent management initiatives, and going digital in almost all the process, which covers the entire employee life cycle, starting from recruitment, onboarding, improving their productivity and performance, helping them in their career and development, succession planning, providing multiple dashboards for review to various leaders, and going forward, also bringing in engagement and affiliation for the organization. So it is a continuous journey wherein we initiated 2 years back, and now we have covered most of the areas of HR. It has involved multiple development hours, wherein we have developed digital tools for almost all the process, which has added more transparency and fairness. We have identified key resources who have been trained for driving this project, including from the consultant as well as the bank. We have initiated multiple change management initiatives, created Prerna champions for overall adoption across the bank at all levels and units like branches, regional offices, and other specialized units, And we are also tracking the employee logins on these dashboards as well as the digital umbrella tool, which works under the project, this project Union Prerna. Today, this Prerna platform has grown bigger. So we have added more than 25 plus digital tools, which captures almost all the HR processes. So as I mentioned, it starts from recruitment and onboarding. So we have a recruitment portal for lateral hires. Then on the role and KRA allocator, which is meant for each and every employee skill set in the bank, helps in scientific target setting. In increasing the productivity and performance, we have digital tools which captures the quarterly and annual appraisals. We have curated field dashboards with more than 500 data points for different set of users. We also have an HR dashboard which is taken care by the HR department, which encompasses the entire data of all the officers as well as the other skill sets. We have developed a skill profiler tool wherein we do the gap assessment of the available skills in the bank. Also for training nomination, we have curated a nomination engine to give the right training for the right person. We have developed a coaching engine which helps in goal setting, creation of IDP for all the leadership. In the succession planning also, we have developed a complete talent profiling tool which gives the talent profile of all the executives based on all the data points as well as the role history which is being captured, including the supervisor and 360-degree feedback. In engagement and affiliation, we have created a Prerna help desk, which actually is manned by 3-4 very dedicated people who share the queries, suggestions, as well as any grievance related to the tools or technology or data or targets. They are sharing through this help desk, which is also online being tracked at the CGM level as well. We have developed a 360-degree feedback tool inside our appraisal, which is more a developmental input, which helps the employee to create their individual development plan. And finally, as a reward and recognition framework, we have moved from group awards to individual-based, value-based awards through using all these scores, which is coming through these digital data points. Apart from this, in this journey, we have also introduced certain other important concepts. So we started with developing the learning centers of excellence in form of union learning academies. We have worked for flexible working models, so conducted successful pilots for remote working. We are also working for a ramp back program for returning mothers who can be given remote working facilities. Also, we are trying to do an overall assessment of officers in the bank. So we have curated those skill sets required for running the bank, supporting the bank. And for leadership, we have developed a leadership development program, which is a comprehensive program. It starts with the individual assessment through psychometric as well as cognitive tools. And then it gives an IDP, which is shared with the individual executive coaches. And it is a regular development which is going forward. Now, all these efforts have brought a lot of accolades and media coverage. We have seen that it has gained a lot of traction in the PSB banking space. And even we have received recognition from internationally by getting an award on the BAI Global Innovation. Also, we are one of the first bank for being ISO certified HR functions and reporting structures. Now, on the ease agenda reforms, HR has continuously been ranked first in the ease index. So this is all because of the entire Prerna tool which has gone live. So some of the key areas which comes under Prerna is, number one is the performance management, which is the foundation for all these efforts, which starts with role clarity. So initially when we started, all the 3 banks were having 3 different types of their performance appraisal systems, and mostly it was done manually. So we have created this digital tool which helps in role allocation. And from day one, the employee is clear about their role and the KRAs. Along with that, we have increased the measurability. So we are getting all these auto-populated in their respective dashboards. In the target setting, because when we make the KRAs measurable, we need to have scientific targets. So for target setting also, we have developed a digital tool which captures all the business parameters based on which the target is given to all different sets of employees, including branch heads and branch officials, regional office officials, as well as the heads. And for reviewing their performance, we have given individual dashboards to all the field functionaries, where every month they can see their progress and also where they are lagging behind. So we are also giving some insights in form of the gaps vis-a-vis their targets and how much disbursement they have to make to achieve some targets, for example. So all this we have completed, and we are running a full cycle of appraisal now. And we have made this quarterly appraisal. Earlier it was annual, so we have made it quarterly appraisal because that was one of the guidelines of DFS, as well as it helps the employee to make any course correction in between during the year if they are lagging behind. Now we have integrated all this to the HRMS platform which we have with us, and everything gets auto-populated in their respective screens. As I mentioned, the Prerna Help Desk also supports the employees who may raise their exceptions whenever there is a certain kind of discrepancy observed, whether related to data or targets. And we have also linked this with the reward and recognition framework. In learning and development, which is again a major area of talent management, we have initiated with the revamp of our existing training system we had. So we are in the process of developing 9 centers of excellence, which we call it as Union Learning Academies, which caters to the 9 job families covering all the banking function domains. For example, we have one Union Learning Academy, which caters to the requirement of corporate treasury and forex. Then another ULA takes care of retail and MSME credit and credit policy. Likewise, we have for operations a learning academy which conducts similar flagship programs, as well as they also curate the content which has to be given to the zonal learning centers, which cater to the learning requirement and training requirement of all set of employees, starting from award staff to scale 3 and 4 level. The executive trainings are happening in these Union Learning Academies. So with this, we have increased the overall learning hours across the bank, and we are also involving these Union Learning Academies for curating role-based learnings, which is more need-based. We have tied up with premier academic institutions who are empaneled with us, like ISB, IIM Kozhikode, IIM Indore, MDI, which are helping us to customize programs for advanced banking domains, as well as they are also helping us to conduct programs for senior executives, DGMs, GMs, CGMs, and even director level programs. So all these initiatives which have been brought in to make the overall vision of Union Bank to emerge as a learning organization. We have also tied up with some digital platforms. Our overall aim in learning development is to increase the overall behavioral competencies of the organization. So inculcating the required desired behaviors, we have curated a behavioral competency framework for the bank. And when we initiated, we worked on all these assessments where the IDPs were created for each executive, starting from AGM to CGM level. And with this, they have set their individual goals, which is being again tracked by their mentors and the executive coaches with whom they are tagged with. Apart from this, we are also working on improving the technical competencies by identifying the gaps where the bank has in lieu of technical competencies like advanced topics, analytics, we have corporates, handling of infrastructure finance. So these are certain skill sets which is more required. So we are trying to meet this gap through all these learning interventions which we have introduced to create leaders for not only the bank, but banking industry as a whole, which is the overall aim of our corporate top management as well as the board. So in this skill assessment, because this is the first time any public sector bank has done this kind of exercise of assessment gap, again, this initiative was taken on the recommendation of our board, who wanted to know what are the skill gaps within the organization. So we have created a complete digital tool which helps in assessment, and it works on more than 21 skill sets, and we have identified each skill set is mapped with a question bank. All this platform is developed in-house, and all these employees undergo these assessment programs, and based on that they are ranked at which level they are, at medium, high or low, and accordingly the interventions are provided. So to run such kind of big HR transformation project, we require a lot of change management and employee engagement initiatives. So we have run more than 20 plus initiatives in change management. Regularly, we are interacting with all sets of employees, whether it is through quiz, sharing their success stories, leadership messages, winning Wednesdays. We are conducting where they are directly interacting with the top leadership. Also, we are conducting panel discussions wherein the ED and CGM HR is interacting with some of the branch heads on regular basis. We are curating a lot of content in form of videos, audios, as well as information brochures, which we are continuously sending to the employees whenever there is a change in the process or a new tool which is getting launched. We are conducting focus group discussions. We are also helping them by giving them small snippets as to how they can improve their scores and their performance, upskill themselves through regular mandatory e-learning courses and certification which they are mapped with. The overall impact which we achieved is like this, that we started with the measurability of roles and KRAs. When we initiated, we had only 7% roles which were measurable. We have achieved now 90%. The target allocation, everything was done manually. Now we have more than 27 business parameters with more than 5,000 KRAs, which is data and digitally driven. The performance differentiation is also observed. If we look at initially, 80% of our employees were getting more than 80 marks. So it was difficult to differentiate between a top performer and a poor performer. This has also improved a lot, and now we can see the differentiation very stark. In the job family, that is was aimed at job specialization, which was very low initially. Now almost all the officers who have completed 5 years of service in the bank are mapped with any job family, and they are being given job family grooming plan, which helps them to increase the specialization in a particular area till they move to the next job family, which is term is given up to 4 years. They have to serve in a role which is mapped to these job families. In the leadership goals and self-improvement, as I mentioned, now we have developed a robust governance, and they are being, every time it is being tracked by the top management as well. Provided personalized learning plans for all individuals. So now each employee has 20 minimum e-learning modules, which is mapped to their respective roles. And that also we have developed on our LMS portal, which the employees have to complete. So likewise, increase the number of data points. We are bringing in, since we are having huge data, now we are bringing in HR analytics and using some HR used cases, which will help them to increase the engagement, also which will help us to give insights how they can improve their performance. We are also working on creating learning courses for advanced topics. So we have created more than 10 plus courses which are on advanced topics. Already we are giving training to the respective employees who are undergoing those roles. On the benefits and employee wellness, we have conducted multiple a new age.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. You have another 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just concluding, sir. So our overall aim is to emerge as a strategic HR brand in the BFSI space. When we started, we were more of a traditional and banking. Now we are trying to move ahead towards the modern areas of banking, bringing in more data and analytics. As a part of our future scope, we are going to leverage more of the data which we have captured, build a learning organization, and as a next generation, we are trying to emerge as a strategic HR bank. So alongwise, for month-wise, we have also always created our way forward, and bringing in all this, our also another important assignment which we have taken is to develop a mobile app. Currently, we are having all these interventions URL based. So we are trying to develop a mobile app which will capture everything, and the employee will have a 24/7 visibility. Currently, they are using this mobile, but it is URL based. It will be coming as an app, which is our next action this year, which we are going to initiate. So with this, we are working for more diversity, leadership, bringing in more analytics because having a lot of data points, and succession planning, making leaders for the industry as a whole. So with this, I thank you all for giving me this opportunity to present this entire project Union Prerna to you. I'm open to any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Pandey. Very good presentation and very meticulous efforts you have put in preparing your slides. In fact, after the merger and with the introduction of more and more technology in the banking, such training are key to growth and sustainability of any banks. Excellent work, ma'am. Thank you, please.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, in your presentation, you have mentioned about a large number of things.
Yes, sir.
So which activity or which thing you want to emphasize, which is innovative and others are not doing?
Sir, actually, this Union Prerna is an overall digital platform which we have created. And one unique feature which we have added, which is other public sector banks are now coming up, is the revamped performance management system. So that is the unique feature which we have introduced. So as I mentioned earlier, mostly the performance appraisal was just, you can say, an annual activity. So it was not linked with other areas of HR, say in career development, promotion, training, or rewards and recognition, because all the employees were getting more than 80% of marks. So we were not able to differentiate. Now, making this PMS or appraisal more objective, removing the subjectivity, making it more digital, where all the data is also getting auto-populated. So it required a humongous effort, and building the entire KRA library and curating more than 2,000 plus roles in the bank. We are a huge organization, sir. So we're having a 49,000 officers strength, which have to undergo this appraisal system. So I think this particular initiative, right now, the PSBs are also coming up to us for having an idea as to how we have done this, and we are also showcasing this product to them. So this is a unique product which was the starting point for Union Prerna. Now we have all the other products are linked to it, because when we started measuring the PMS, then we have to give them the talent management initiatives. So all these are interlinked. So whether it is job family specialization tool, or whether the dashboards, all these are interlinked to the PMS. But I think at Prerna, we can treat the performance management system as a flagship product, which is unique in the industry.
Good enough, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, jury members, for inviting us to this presentation. In fact, Society for Telangana State Network is the name of the organization that I represent, and it's part of the Department of Information Technology, Electronics and Communications, Government of Telangana. This SoftNet is intended to provide distance learning modes to people across the state living in remote places, particularly using science and technology or satellite technology. And at the same time, we have upgraded that in terms of using the technology to reach out to the people with the quality education using artificial intelligence and using the new media like the digital media. So this basically is a SATCOM project of the Government of India, wherein we are broadcasting 2 television channels at the moment. In fact, we have 4 television channels. 2 are for internal purpose and 2 are for public viewing. This project started in the year 2003, but actual potential of this project has been leveraged only since 2016. After the government of Telangana realized the potential of our minister, Sri K.T. Ramarao Garu, has realized the potential of this network and has put in a lot of efforts to ensure that we reach out to the stakeholders, particularly the students in the rural areas or the unemployed in the rural areas for their skill development, so that there is an equitable development across the state. And in fact, our initiative that we have taken in the year 2016 started paying dividends. Unfortunately, not just we can say unfortunately, but we started we started in 2016 and the pandemic struck in December 2019 and it intensified in the year 2020 from March. That is when the learning gaps started growing between the students studying in the rural schools and the students who have access to digital education. So not knowing that some kind of pandemic will strike and this network or this kind of technology will help the people in the rural places, we have initiated in 2016, but 2019 we realized that what we have done from 2016 started yielding the results or is now been put at good use. So during the pandemic, our network reached out to the rural villages, particularly the students studying in government schools where the schools were not functioning, the physical schools were not functioning and the children were restricted to homes. So it is then we used our television network to reach out to all the students with the quality education, particularly the classes provided by the government of Department of Education, Government of Telangana. So we started leveraging the new media or the new technology, and we have a YouTube channel also. So our YouTube channel has about 7.36 lakh subscribers, which is on the top category of in this category of channels. So, and we are on the digital media, like we have our own app also, TSAT app. In TSAT app, we have what you can say, all the video lessons that were produced by the Department of Education, Department of Collegiate Education, Department of Higher Education, so various other departments. So we have all those video lessons classes there, and our app downloads are 2.7 million, 27 lakhs million, and we are in the top among the government-run education apps. So the government-run education, we have also started what we call the coaching programs for the rural youth or the rural unemployed youth or the poor youth who prepare for the competitive exams, for their entrance into the competitive exams. So that is, in fact, has been very helpful for the students working there. So, but here you see the language difference comes because most of the people in Telangana are either Telugu medium or a few in the urban areas are from English medium. But most of the content that is available in this category across the digital platforms is mostly in English. So what we are doing is we are producing our content. We are giving the coaching classes to the rural youth. In fact, entire thing is free of cost. We don't even charge a single rupee from them, and we are giving the coaching classes worth more than 50,000, 60,000 rupees free of cost to the rural students through our app and through our television network. So the content that is available in English, we are using AWS system, AWS mechanism to see that the content is auto transcribed and they can view in their regional language, particularly in Telugu. Audio lessons, audio and video lessons. So even if we have any class in English, the students can use the auto transcribe, and then either with the subtitles they can watch the program in their own language, or with a superimposed audio through artificial intelligence, they can listen to those classes. So this is what we have been doing for the last 6.5 years. And in fact, we have a tremendous response. The people from the rural areas are using this to the full extent. This is exactly what I have to say, and I think we can further go for Q&A. If there are any questions, then we can I can answer them.
Ready, sir. Thank you very much. Very good initiative. But how do you decide, or how do you track the feedback from users?
See, the feedback from the users is sent to the user departments directly, because we don't, we are not the producers of any content. We are only facilitators. Except for the competitive exams content, we produce our content. So the school education department, through their headmasters or through their district education officers, they get the inputs and they design the content, and we modify. In fact, the education department modifies the content. As far as the coaching classes for the competitive exams is concerned, we have a helpline number, and we have a helpline mail ID also, wherein the students can send in their views on that. So, and the other thing is our YouTube channel, we have a chat box open. Normally, such channels block the chat. We have a chat box open, and that chat box open, we continuously, my staff, whenever the live program goes on or when the program is broadcast, my staff sits there and keeps answering their queries. So based on the kind of queries that we receive from them, we conclude that in fact, it's been very useful for them.
Okay. Thank you, please.
Thank you, sir.
So nowadays, a lot of material is available on YouTube and internet. So what is unique in your system?
See, a lot of material is available on the YouTube and other social media platforms, which is in generic. So, but what we do here is we do it specific to the competitive exams. And you see, the Telangana government has recently issued notifications to recruit over 1 lakh employees in the government departments, various government departments, to Telangana Public Service Commission. So, unfortunately, the students in the rural areas, particularly the poor and the below poverty line family students, they don't have access to that kind of education which is normally charged. Whatever is on YouTube, some content is available for them free of cost, but later on that content is charged. So here what we do is we kind of record the video lessons, exactly what is there in the syllabus. And also on our app and on our tsat.tv website, we have a mock test also there. And it's a free mock test. We have a question bank of about 7,000 to 8,000 questions in that mock test. So all the students can take that mock test. After watching our classes, they can take the mock test. And in fact, it will be helpful for them, because most of the students might be writing the exam for the first time. So we have a number of mock tests that they can take. So that it will be helpful for them and come out of the exam fear.
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The previous 6 learned speakers from banking sector, and one previous speaker, sir, from SoftNet from Telangana. My presentation or case study is applicable for the defense sector. Sir, I hope my screen is visible, sir.
Yes, sir, it's visual, sir.
Sir, I shall be covering my presentation as per the topics flashed. I understand the various jury members as well as audience present are from various walks of the life, sir. So I'll start with the initial brief overview about this landing craft ships, and then coming to the main agenda of our case and the work. Sir, the ship on the screen is the landing craft utility ship, LCU, as it is popularly known in Navy, sir. This vessel is utilized for transfer of men and material from army, from basically ship to shore. So this is primarily for amphibious operation. And if you see, so this area which is there in the front, this area is utilized for storage of the tanks, artillery guns, and to have the mobility from one country or maybe one island to another island for a surprise attack. I understand because of the size of the screen, is it, sir, visible throughout, or should I?
It is fully visible, sir.
Okay, sir. So
Please go ahead.
yeah, so it's a overall about 68-meter ship, sir, and roughly about 211 complement. That is the strength of the crew, sir. So uniqueness of this vessel is because it has to carry most of the ordnance and the vehicles in the forward area, we call the forecastle. All the ship equipment and the crew accommodation has to be arranged in the aft section. That is this rear part. So that is why the equipment density in the rear part becomes very high. So that's a problem statement. We had delivered 8 of these vessels to Indian Navy, and they were delivered progressively from 2015 to 2021. After few years of exploitation, Indian Navy came up with the issue of a high bridge wing noise. So, sir, if you see in my screen, this particular area is the navigating bridge from where a captain of the ship stays the ship, and this surrounding area all around, this is called the navigation bridge wing area, sir. Generally, the ship is steered from this bridge area. However, the ship crew reported that when they are doing beaching operation, they prefer to come outside and have a better visual contact, because it's actually you're taking the ship on the land to an extent. So they prefer to steer the ship from this area, and there they have the issue that there is a very loud ambient noise, because of which their communication and navigation gets impacted. So we undertook an initial assessment, sir, and we realized that the main cause of the bridge wing noise is because of the 2 ventilation fans which are located in the aft region, that is the rear region of the bridge wing. So this, if you see, sir, these are called port and starboard of the bridge wings, and these are those fans which are located in a ventilation trunk, and these are high capacity fans, and they basically take the air from here and supply all the way to number 3 deck down below, that is nearly about 2 decks down below, to the machinery spaces where machinery engine rooms and DS are situated. Although Navy had given us a request and it was a new demand than what was earmarked in our contract, because there are in a contract generally limits are specified. So there are limits specified for a bridge wing, there are limits specified for a control remit. However, this is an open area which generally a Navy does not specify, but since the uniqueness of operation is such that Navy came up with a request, and we took up this challenge. But unfortunately, it was a huge, I would say, task which took us nearly about more than 2 to 3 years to resolve it. First major issue was that at present, if you see, so these are the measurement which we undertook on the bridge wing area, and if you see in port and starboard, the noise was somewhere on the tune of about 103, and so on the starboard side it was somewhere about 107. So overall about 105 dB, and we did some literature survey, checked up some societies, their international standards like defense standards, NES, naval engineering specifications, and we came back that maybe a recommended value will be 70. So it was nearly about more than 30 dB of gap, which on a fully implemented or a ship in operation become very difficult to bridge. Second thing, the fans which we were talking about, these are very high capacity fans. They were literally about 20,000 meter cube, and it was huge 7.5 kilowatt induction motors. So finding a suitable or an alternate, a very low capacity was not feasible because they were critical for the machinery. As I was saying, so this bridge wing, if it is located on the deck, the routing of the deck goes all the way to the engine rooms. So it transits through a circuitous route and goes all the way down to about 3 decks. So shifting maybe on a land-based operation may not be feasible because the duct is already part of the hull. There are other compartments. If you tinker around with the location or equipment, those other critical compartments noise may get affected. That's why. And second thing, the project was nearly in advanced stage. As I said, sir, this case came to us in 2019. By the time nearly out of the 8 ships, we had delivered 6 ships to Navy, and balance 2 ships were in construction. Sir. Notwithstanding, sir, considering it was a customer and a Navy defense requirement, we started with our process. We identified about 12 processes which all modification could be feasible. We checked up, either we could have done on insulation, we could have moved some duct, we could have relocated fan, we could look at different type of fans. And all this thing we did an FEA analysis and came out that what will be the effect. Since we already mapped what is the original source, that is the noise source, which was the fans, we could generate what are the noise levels which are coming in the ambient. And this was the area where we were interested, that is the bridge wing area. We utilize the Wave 6 software, sir, which can give this predicted value, which were found to be fairly accurate. So out of all the options we worked out from 12, we came out with the best option, which was for the low noise. That is, we have to change the existing fan to a low noise as well as ship it down to the bottommost deck. This is how we have gone. I just put up a one specimen example how we have gone ahead. We have changed for the EDQ motors, that is naval motors, to some imported identified Netherlands. We had gone and checked up what kind of motors they have. So they are very fairly low noise signature motors, and what are various possible permutations we could do. And we saw that there was an option where we could come between 70 to 75 dB from the existing 105. All these options were put up and discussed internally. However, Indian Navy was not keen on any imported motors, and the lead time was high, and there were other administrative hurdles. So we worked out and we came up with 4 options to Indian Navy. These are the 4 options which we have worked out and we put up. So we had put up as a case study itself with a detailed cost, what is the time frame it will take, and what is the target levels we will do. And the first option was where we do the trunking, we do the acoustic insulation, as well as, since it's aluminum superstructure, we thought we will stiffen it, and so that structural noise will get reduced. The second option was, including first option, we will also do, there is something called acoustic louvers, that is from where the air gets sucked in the trunk, we will have some acoustic observers, and we will implement. The third was, of course, the shifting the existing fan, and fourth was shifting to the low fan noise. So all the options were suggested, and our customer, Indian Navy, they decided that let's work it out, and this looks to be most promising. It's not high on the cost, and the time limitation not big. So I'll just take you quickly how we gone about this process, sir. So we first started with a pilot project. We had 2 ships under construction. So we picked up the first ship, which was Yard 2098. That is the 7th ship out of the 8. And we utilized the Rockloid. We identified this as a very good acoustic absorption coefficient. And we did the insulation lagging of this, as well as we did the stiffening part of this. And there were some guide vanes which were put to streamline the flow, and we got a fairly good results. These are some of the modifications which we actually did on the ship, sir. This is what a trunk looks like, and where the fan is located inside, sir. So we did the stiffening part, made it more stiff so that structure does not vibrate, and the inside entire part we did the Rockloid insulation. Although since this was a new concept, we generally don't use on a naval vessels, so we had to find a way of securing. But this was executed prior ship's delivery to Navy, that is of 2098 ship. And this is when the trials were undertaken, sir. And we had a fairly, if you recall, sir, earlier we were in the range of 105. And after this modification which we did, and this was somewhere in 2020, we could achieve the levels of nearly about 92 dB. So we had a reduction of about in the range of 18 to 20 dB with our first modification option. Since we had a fairly good improvement, we thought that maybe we'll now try out option 2 and see if we can, reach back to closer to our target of 75 dB. And that's when we came with the option of acoustic louvers. So these are something called acoustic louvers. So what happens is, where the air gets sucked in, we put some insulation material. So we identified one land-based firm which they use it for a movie, cinema, theaters, and land-based operation. We approached them. Our design team sat with them. We modified the design to suit our requirement. Like some material which were land-based operation, we changed to marine because marine and class requirements are different. So we worked out, redesigned the thing, and this was produced. And we did a test sample for the second ship. That is the last of the ship 2099. Sir. This happened sometime in August 20, and we saw that whatever we achieved previously, we could get another 6 to 8 dB reduction. So this is a kind of a summary of this thing, sir. Originally, we were more than 100 completing red zone. With the phase 1 modification, which we did on 2098, we came to about 82 dB. And after this, we came on somewhere about 77 dB. So with this, we did a pilot trial and Navy was certified. Yes, with this, they have no hindrance to the operational requirement. And they asked us if we can do it for all the ships. So accordingly, we did a process the case, and Navy gave us approval in October 2020 for modification of all the 7 ships. Now, to get a vessel which is already in service, to put it alongside berth and do a modification like this, it's a very Herculean task because it has various other tasking. But since we already implemented as a pilot project on one of the ships, we were confident, and what we anticipated about 35 days time, we could cut it down and could do it in 2 weeks time. So we once, yes, it took us a lot of time from initial study, modifications, trial study, but once we got a fairly good proven product, we implemented in another 6-7 months on all the balance 7 ships. So 4 ships are implemented by 2020, and rest balance 4, which are already developed at Port Blair, were done in 2021. These are some of the work completion certificates from various ships which we received, and the response from the crew was very positive, especially for the bridge wing noise reduction. Just to summarize, the key highlights of the project was, first of all, because this was a unique challenge, we have not got much into noise. Ship designers like we are very good in integrating, building new designs, but noise per se was a fairly new field. So we had initially approached few consultants, but they were more of imported origin. Like we had gone to DW from Germany, and they had a proven product, but we decided that we'll do it in-house. So it gave us quite a lot of foreign savings. And earlier what we perceived that we'll change the fans and relocate, which took us which could have taken us about 3 to 4 months, we could cut down to about 2 to 3 weeks time for each vessel. So both in terms of cost and time, we could implement all the modification, all the even delivered ships. So that was a very confident building booster for us. And as a future potential, sir, what we could gather, though we were started from very scratch drawing board, we could make a product which is quick to deploy. That is, these ships are already delivered, they were already designed, they were already fabricated in service. So we could deploy it. It was a ready to deploy solution. We could put the ventilation levers from outside and could receive the results. We didn't have to decouple any machinery. We didn't have to obstruct the ship. Only things, yes, we needed 2 weeks time alongside berth for our team to do. And yes, it gives us confidence that we could do a lot in, especially in ventilation noise, because though we started with, finally came up with acoustic louvers as a probable solution, but we did a lot of studies on 12 options. So it gave us various confidence of which all we could do in our ships, and this is what is helping. In fact, one of the options we implemented on our ASW platform, which is presently building. So there are 8 ships which are building for Indian Navy. So a lesson learned, and I'd say both for Navy as well as shipyard, overall it turned out to be a great confident building measures. That's all from our side, sir.
Thank you,
yeah.
Captain sir. Thank you, Captain sir. Very good project. In fact, you have done in-house, that is more important and encouraging. But after putting these insulators and screen separators, is there any effect on the output volume of the air, which
Sir,
was around 20,000 meter cube per hour?
Sir, we did that study because that was our main concern when we were even thinking of that. So what happens is the main cause of the noise is, one is of course the capacity of the fan. we are not tinkered with the capacity of the fan. Now, the second part is when we are putting the louvers, we have to keep the same amount of the louver area. So that is how the existing louvers were removed and this modified louvers were put. And flow velocity is it has to be less than 5 meters per second. That was ensured. That's how gave us good dividends.
Okay. Thank you, Captain sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. No specific question.
Thank you very much, sir.